Well, good morning and welcome back to Mod and Pop Thrift. My name is Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for my 5 kids, and we've got one on the way coming in late October. Today is a little bit of a milestone day. Going to change some things, how my eBay store works, and today is the day that I finally got my YouTube channel hooked to AdSense, and so we're 11 subs away from being monetized. And so I've stopped referring to that as the finish line and started referring to it as the starting line. So we're like 11 subs from getting to the starting line. So Evelyn is having her very first day of preschool by herself today, which means I'm having my very first day of being alone, totally by myself for a couple of hours in between dropping her off and picking her brothers up. I think I'm going to use that time to ship, because that's kind of the most I need to be focused on this thing that I do. Like, I can take a couple of pictures and then help Evelyn make lunch, or I can edit video while I'm sitting in the living room with kids doing their homework or whatever. But I really need to be out in the store where my shipping supplies are, where where most of the videos take place, away from the family and focused on what I'm doing to make sure that items aren't getting mixed up and stuff. And so that time would be best for when I'm the only one here. But that is not when I normally do the shipping. What I've been doing shipping is early in the morning. And so I'm going to have to switch around how I do things. Yeah, so I don't know what today's going to look like. We're going to take Evie to school, and then maybe I'm going to hit Goodwill. I have 8 to ship, and there's 35 or something sitting out at the mailbox right now, and then I have 8 to ship. So if I hit Goodwill, I'm going to have to do it in a way that leaves me time to come home and get 8 shipped for tomorrow before I go to pick up the elementary kids, and then pick her big brother up most days, but not today. So there's like an hour there where I have to be ready to move to go pick up kids. Yeah, it's stay-at-home dad for 5 kids with 1 on the way. There's a lot of moving pieces. Something else I'm changing is I went to 1-day handling time, which I hate, but watching shed flips the other day, it reoccurred to me, as it does every couple of weeks, that if I do 1-day handling time as a top-rated seller, I'll get 10% a fee discount. Yes, you may color. And on a day like today where I only have 8 to ship, and I have time by myself, I should be able to keep up with 1-day handling. And if it gets to where I don't want to do it anymore, I'll just back off. But if I do 1-day handling, then I get a 10% discount as top rated seller plus, as opposed to just top rated seller. Also, I took my promoted listings down to 2.5%. I'm just playing with the promoted listing thing. I just don't believe that going to like 15 and stuff is going to help that much. So I'm trying to figure out where is good. So I wouldn't go down to 2% because I feel like every listing is at 2%, but I'm not 6.5. I didn't see enough boost to make much difference. So is 2.5 enough to keep me where I was with 4% and 6.5%, and then save myself the 4% of the difference between 6.5 and 2.5, and 1-day handling time saved me 10% on fees, and I could end up with a lot more money in my pocket doing essentially the same amount of work if the promoted listing thing works out. I'm just kind of thinking through these things out loud, and it seems in the comments like you guys like to hear what I'm thinking about and why I'm thinking it and whether or not it works, because helps you process your thinking, I think. It's a lot of thinks. So that's what's going on right now. I don't have my partner in crime. I'm going to go to Goodwill by myself. And I've been to Goodwill by myself a bunch. but not because my big girl is in preschool. She's gonna have fun. It's gonna be fine. I'll be a big kid about it too, I guess, if I have to. But it's a little emotional. I still worked full-time when Caleb was born. This is the first one that I have been full-time with her every minute since she's been born, and now she's at preschool without me. Not that I'm emotional about it. Anyway, I stopped and put my seatbelt on before we got out of the preschool parking lot so that I could, Jenna, this lady that used to watch and comment on every video, and I don't know if you're still out there, Jenna, but I still think, crap, Jenna would be disappointed with me for not wearing my seatbelt and put my seatbelt on. I don't know if you're still watching or not. Anyway, let's go hit Goodwill and stop thinking about my little girl being a big girl at preschool. She did not need me to stick around at all. But you guys get the impression that she's super independent too, right? This has been much more vlog than reseller content, but I think those of you who follow me, like, that's what you're looking for, right? You're not trying to get a super informational channel. Trying to find somebody relatable who will teach you some stuff, whether or not it's good. All right, let's go to Goodwill. And here we go. Goodwill, Pioneer Park. These look like a set. Like, this is mead and these are mead. These are obviously a set. Is that one? That's number 5, and there's only 4 books here. I have to dig into this and see what it is. Today is half off yellows, and these are yellow. That's $3.84. But even with 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need 3 and 4, or it's definitely not worth doing. Okay, so 14 and 15, because they're a smaller box, are cheaper, which is kind of funny. But I also suspect that they're probably the better of the set. So if I can get them both for $2.50, I may be worth buying. Bright red Converse, $15 for these Converse. Not gonna happen. Vintage BMX bikes. Rule of thumb: if they have a chain guard, then they're not. I mean, Next isn't going to be anything, and this probably isn't old. But if you find one, you're like, dude, that looks like it's from the 90s. It's all chrome. If it has a chain guard, it's probably not worth anything. Or if it even has mounts for a chain guard and it broke off. Dang, where were these when I was buying them for back to school? Not seeing much here. This looks interesting, but I don't know what it is right off. So this just says treatment sets. I don't know. It's $12. So this has about 50% sell-through. It looks like it's nearly complete, just like eyeballing what's here. Right at 50% sell-through rate, and at $11, some of this stuff can sell for $10, $15 a piece. I also found these two things. I don't know what these are. This kind of looks like maybe a Doctor Who thing. You press this button on the side, and I think she had it lit up somehow. Yeah. And then this is obviously a wand, and whether it's Harry Potter themed or just a wand at $1.49, it's worth hanging on to in the cart. And I just picked this up. I don't know what it is. It looks expensive. We'll see. It's only $8, so we're gonna comp it. This is 3 rings, is Revereware. You want Revereware to be copper on the bottom, and this is not, but it is genuinely Revereware. You can see Paul's head right there. This handle is indicative of Revereware. It doesn't do as well as it used to do. It's not worth taking the time to clean up. Masterclass, no. Look what I see. These are one of my favorite things. They're just so neat. And even the newer ones do okay. b2kitkat.com. So you smell it's not vintage. And it doesn't seem to have the tail, which hurts it a lot. $4. I'm gonna put it in the cart. Okay, so these little plushies in this bag are nothing exciting. But this odd looking, like there's an angel with a no face. And I almost think that was Matt Damon or Ben Affleck from Dogma, which would be good. I don't know what this figure is, so I'm gonna put these in the cart and figure out what they are. Appliances, nothing interesting in the small appliances. Oh, Supernatural. Now I can see. Pretty sure this is Supernatural. And these are Funko plush. And that's probably what those two are. Also, we'll see if they're worth anything. See, being a Louisiana boy, this seems like a musical instrument to me. At $3.48, it might have been worth something at some point. I doubt it is anymore, but it's neat. I like seeing them. We'll put comps up on the screen just in case, but I'm not buying it. Nothing over here in the electronics. Starting lineups are generally, oh, well, maybe nothing. Generally not good. $5. This is McFarlane. Who's this guy? Jim Tomey, who is from a little piece down the road. This has games on it, and it's $40. Now I just sold a Wii for $40, but this has Wii Sports and probably Sports Resorts. No, just 2 copies of Sports. Is this one opened? Yep. I think we're probably going to end up with this anyway. Let's look at the games. This is the first time I've ever found video games at this store. And oh, there's Mario Kart. I'll make sure it's in there. And then we're gonna buy it. Yep. So we're gonna buy that. Cool. That site might seem ignorant. I just sold one for $40. Why would I buy one for $40? But I think the game's probably double the money on the dumb thing, and I could hold it for a couple of weeks and make a lot more money than that. $264. That's a VHS rewinder. We're gonna look into that. See, these balls say Major League Official, Arizona Spring Training, NCAA. This one's autographed. I don't think that's a very good ball, and I will never figure out who that autograph belongs to. Number 34, but we don't even know the team. The Valley. So I left the baseball. For that cheap, I probably should have picked them up, but I'm trying to get away from things that take a lot of time to get listed. I don't want to do the research. I just want to take pictures and put them up. $9.33. I'm less confident than when I went to pick up the camera. This is Marvel Mad Engine on a tag, but I don't see a date on it. It's probably not very old, but it's one of those like hoodies that zips all the way up. And it's Spider-Man. $10. I'd be surprised if it's worth getting. I don't know exactly what I just saw over here, but I saw something and I thought it was probably worth getting the camera out before I walked over to it. $8.29 Goodyear Wrangler radials, leather vest, Sherpa line, ideal, So that looks old. Ideal is a nice American-made zipper. I don't know if this is original to it or not. Bonner Springs, USA, Kansas. So I think I am going to get this. It's $8. There's 6 listed. There's 0 sold, but it's still hot. So as it cools off, I think the appeal will grow for this. The lowest you can currently buy this for is $43. So if I did mine at $39.99, free shipping, it would probably be the first one to sell when things cool off. And I was just officially giving up on clothes, and I came across this. Snap-on down both sides, 2XL, and the flag on the back. I feel like that's worth in the cart and see if I can comp it. I feel like my wife would love this, but we don't have a good place to put a coffee table, and she's not really a coffee table person. She'd rather be without a coffee table. But I'm gonna send a picture to her anyway. Well, okay, $8.34. This is a Seth Thomas. And it feels like it might have a movement. If it's battery powered, it's probably not worth picking up. Let's flip it over and find out. So with the C battery in it, it's older battery movement, but probably still not worth anything. Cool piece. But Seth Thomas is always a name to look out for. I think I'm going to comp this just in case, but I sincerely doubt that it's anything. How about this guy? Michelob, $2.64. It feels like a golf-related bag of some sort. YKK is not, and these are plastic, so this is not a vintage zipper. At $2.64, so this might be something. It's almost definitely related to a golf bag, but I can't find one like it, and I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it, and I wouldn't know where to price it, and it's not the kind of thing that I normally mess with. So the 2XL Snap-on hoodie, probably not. Badger is just kind of generic branding. If this was a decent brand one, it'd probably be worth more, but I can't find one just like it, and I'm just not convinced that I want to mess with it. At $10, this would pretty much have to sell for $30 to be worth it, and I just don't think it's going to. Top of the zipper's messed up, and the sell-through rate's pretty low, so for $10 I think we're gonna pass. So this is essentially a fancy lunchbox, and for $7.50 it's probably good for somebody, but it's not good for me. And it's gunmetal, not black, it's like gray. So these guys are supernatural. This guy's name's Castile and this guy's name's Sam, and at $2.64 they're definitely worth picking up. And evidently this guy was a chase in a mini blind pack thing, and so he sold for $17 and has a listed comp at $38 and 100% sell-through rate, so there's one listed, one sold. This thing's a little hard to get a read on. It's definitely Dr. Who's screwdriver, and at $2.64 I'm going to pick it up and figure out more about it later. The wand, see if it has any markings. It doesn't seem to. So this is almost 100% worth something, but I can't figure out exactly what it is. So I'm going to leave it because I don't want to do the research anymore. There was a time where I'd be like, I'll just take it home and find out what it is, but that just takes so much time, and I never feel like I actually win on that kind of thing. So I'm trying to get things that I can list quickly, not research forever. So this same model with the .com on the back and B2 sold no tail, not working, for $25. So I'm definitely going to grab that. So she just came and hung this up. I have no idea what it is. It's fairly awesome, but it's no doubt bootleg because I have a couple of these banners that are like Nintendo stuff, and they're bootleg. That almost looks like Gundam. I don't know. It's weird. $4. So these ended up being books 2 through 5 of the same series, but 16 listed, 2 sold, not worth it. And then if these were regular price, sealed Harry Potter, but they're $5 a piece. So, no. So the gets are nails for my wife, this vest, these supernatural toys, Doctor Who, the Kit Kat clock, the train, and the Wii. The guy in front of me in line has the Michelob bag. Let's talk about sell-through rate for a minute, because sell-through rate is more important than you think that it is. It is one of the most important metrics, but also on like that Sherpa lined leather vest, that is a winter product. So when you're checking sell-through rate in late August, early September, it's going to be really low for coats. It's probably going to be really low for Christmas items right now, but it's going to start creeping up. And then think about this, checking sell-through rate only in January on Christmas items. The sell-through rate's going to be astronomical, but it's not going to be real. Essentially, not achievable at that time. And so the seasonality of an item makes a lot of difference on its sell-through rate. Sell-through rates on everything go up in Q4. And so right now we're coming out of the summer slowdown. And so maybe a 50, 75% sell-through rate is good. But if you're in December 1st, trying to decide whether an item has good sell-through, that is the rising tides raise all ships. That the sell-through rate is going to be different. So it's just something I was thinking about. Like, the sell-through rate's awful on that jacket, but that's because it's September, and the sell-through rate is going to be way better when you check that same jacket in December, January. Just something I'm thinking about while we're driving to the other Goodwill. It is 2 o'clock, and I have to go pick up the boys at 2:45. So I maybe have a half an hour in this other Goodwill, but this other Goodwill hasn't really been a honey hole for me in a long time. So probably won't need much more time than that. Welcome to seeing the steering wheel on half of the screen, but that's the easiest place to put you down, and then I don't have to worry about what's going on with the camera while I'm driving. So it is 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and this is generally my least lucrative Goodwill. But the saving grace of this place today is that it's a holiday, Tuesday after a holiday weekend, so they probably had higher than normal volume of donations. So maybe I can find something. So my confidence going in there was severely unfounded. I thought I'd find anything. I didn't even find anything worth turning the camera on to tell you why I'm not saying it. So I'm back at Helping Hands, but I've only got a couple of minutes. So let's see what we can do. That's interesting. It's probably not worth anything, but it's cool. I'm gonna comp it. I often do very well with old CB stuff, but I don't know anything about this one right off. Cobra's a good name brand. Okay, so they moved all this stuff over here since the last time I was in here. I'll put comps up and see if any of this stuff is worth coming back for, because I don't think any of it's worth buying now. I don't see a name brand on this thing. It's empty, $7. $3. Sure that came out. So at $26, that Weebles thing is probably a decent get. It's supposed to have 6 Weebles with it. It has 3. It's supposed to have 3 tree parts. It has 2. But the parts are worth something. It has the door that's missing on a lot of them. So I'm gonna do a little bit more work. I didn't end up buying anything here either. Do a little bit more work on with the video that I have on the cameras and the Weeble thing. But first I'm gonna go get the boys from school, and then Judah's got a track meet, and so it'll probably have to be tomorrow when I come back and get this stuff. So I think that's gonna be the end of the video. Thanks for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, following, clicking the bell, and all the things that you do. You're appreciated. We'll see you on the next one.